Hi, I'm Andy. Today we'll explore the southwestern part of the Tian'anmen Square in Beijing. It's called the Beijing Fun. You will see some old architectures and some modern buildings, and I will tell you the story of the shopping mall when Beijing was occupied by the Japanese during the 1930s. Over 700 years ago, when Kublai Khan built the Grand Capital here, people transported the rice and silk from South China through the Grand Canal and unloaded the goods here. Since then, this area became the central business district in Beijing. This is the Bank of Communication. The green glazed tile archway is a Chinese element. You can see it is an eclectic style architecture of Chinese and Western. Chinese people believe that the lions are good doorkeepers. You will see them everywhere. The male lion always play with a ball, the female always play with a cup. Across the narrow line we come to a square. You will never find a tea house in Beijing but a Starbucks. This is the flagship Starbucks. First floor is a coffee shop. The second floor is a Tivana. They serve tea. On the third floor, there's alcohol. The flagship WeWork used to be the biggest goldsmith shop in old Beijing. They renovated this four-story brick building and preserved its appearance and the original style. Qing is a building of combination of European Baroque style and the Chinese style. It was one of the earliest shopping malls in Beijing, but this building is a tragedy. Here is a story. After the Opium War in 1860, the Qing government realized that China had to learn the advanced science and technology from West and become stronger. It was called the Westernization movement. Then in 1905, the Qing court built a building called the Capital Industry Encouraging Showroom on this site. It was an imitation of the Panama, California Exposition of the US. History is always surprisingly similar. Deng Xiaoping took the opening up policy in 1978. It was another Westernization movement. In 2010, there was a Shanghai Expo. In 1908, due to a fire in the adjacent store, the showroom was burned down and most of the merchandise on display were destroyed. Later, people rebuilt the building. But the pure exhibition business doesn't make money, so the new building became a department store and exhibition hall. In 1911, the last feudal dynasty finished in China. The building was burned down twice because the traditional Chinese architecture was made of wood and brick. Some patriotic merchants raised money to rebuild the building and allowed the private individuals to rent space and set up the stores here. The original intention of this place was to promote domestic products. Foreign goods were not allowed to sell here. People hoped to support China and compete with the foreign companies. However, at that time, Western products were very popular in China, just like today, so people could only keep one eye closed. Foreign merchandise were also available here. In 1936, the local government built this modern shopping mall with a playground. It was the first one with a box-shaped elevator in Beijing. It got its name Tian'anmen, which means encouraging industry venue. It was a high-end place in Beijing and crowded with young people. Japanese army occupied Beijing in 1937. Japan divided northeast China into Manchukuo and made the last emperor Puyi as the emperor. They attempted to establish the Greater East Asia Co-Prosperity Sphere. In 1938, the shopping mall was taken over by the Japanese popular regime. The building was renovated and reopened in 1940. The first floor sells daily necessities and books. The second floor sells cultural relics and artworks. On the third floor, there were photo studio, hairdressing salon, dental clinic, advertising agency, as well as a ping pong club. The fourth floor was a theater showed Peking opera and other performances. However, the prosperity was a kind of a deformed false prosperity under the Japanese banners. The funny thing was that the foreign goods were not allowed to sell in this shopping mall, but not including the Japanese goods. This was a distribution center for Japanese goods. Clothing, shoes, hats, stationery, porcelain, etc. Everything was made in Japan, and even Japanese snacks and restaurants. Dumping the Japanese goods to support the Pacific War was the first reason. Selling Western goods was funding Allied forces. There was a small stationery store selling American Parker pens and British ink secretly. The Japanese closed the store and the owner was sentenced to 6 months in prison. In 1945, after the surrender of Japan, the shopping mall became a dumping ground for American industrial products. However, because of inflation, people's life and the shopping mall declined. In 1949, Beijing was peacefully liberated by the People's Liberation Army. The business of the shopping mall was as usual. In 1956, there was a socialist transformation of the capitalist industry and commerce all over China. Public-private partnership made this shopping mall a state-owned department store. In 1966, the Cultural Revolution started. The shopping mall suddenly closed for some unknown reason. It was said that the shopping mall was the base camp of capitalist restoration, because of the shopping mall used to sell goods that belonged to feudalism, capitalism, and revisionism. In 1975, before the end of the Cultural Revolution, the shopping mall converted to a state-owned fashion company. In 2000, the fashion company turned into a hotel. 2011, the hotel was closed and renovated until 2015. The shopping mall became a cultural and art center. That is the story of the shopping mall. I'm Andy. See you next time. Bye-bye.